When Harvard met McGill University in Montreal in 1874, it unknowingly opened the door for a century and a half of college football crossing borders. That first 3-0 victory for Harvard stands as the earliest example of the sport taking root outside the United States. More than 150 years later, Iowa State and Kansas State will carry on that tradition when they open the 2025 season in Dublin, Ireland, as part of the Lingus College Football Classic. Canada became the first and most frequent stop for international contests. Nearly 30 Division I games have been played there, with the International Bowl in Toronto briefly anchoring postseason football from 2006 through 2009. Before that, traveling north was common, as the rules of American and Canadian football had not yet fully diverged. In 1907, college football made its first leap across the ocean when LSU traveled to Havana for what became known as the Bacardi Bowl. Played intermittently until 1946, it saw Southern teams challenge Cuban universities, and once even pitted Villanova against Auburn in a 7-7 tie on New Year's Day. Japan later emerged as a unique hub for international football. Beginning in 1976, Grambling State faced Morgan State in Tokyo, launching a run of bowl-style games that lasted nearly 2 decades. The Mirage Bowl, later renamed the Coca-Cola Classic, regularly featured powerhouse programs such as USC, Nebraska, Clemson, and Stanford. These contests, though labeled bowls, were in fact regular season relocations. One of the most famous moments came in 1988, when Barry Sanders accepted his Heisman Trophy via satellite from Tokyo as his Oklahoma State Cowboys prepared to play Texas Tech. Australia briefly hosted the game as well. Wyoming and UTEP met in Melbourne in 1985, followed by Brigham Young and Colorado State in 1987. After a long pause, California and Hawaii brought football back to Sydney in 2016, with Stanford and Rice following the year after. Europe, however, has proven to be the most consistent international home. The first notable matchup came in 1988 when Boston College faced Army in Dublin. Since then, Ireland has embraced American football, hosting Notre Dame and Navy, Penn State and Central Florida, Georgia Tech and Boston College, and most recently Georgia Tech against Florida State in 2024. The event has grown into the Lingus College Football Classic, with Kansas State and Iowa State set to take center stage in 2025. The Bahamas Bowl adds another chapter, becoming the first recurring bowl outside the United States or Canada since the Bacardi era. Played since 2014, it has given fans postseason action in Nassau. From Montreal to Havana, Tokyo to Dublin, college football's global history is surprisingly deep. Each game carried a piece of tradition while planting new roots abroad. Now the upcoming showdown in Ireland between two ranked Big 12 rivals promises to be not only a season opener but also a moment that echoes back to Harvard and McGill.